Showtime, Bitcoin moneymaker, every angle to get in the crypto game. Welcome to all my fellow Bitcoin monkeys. I know I've been away for a few days and the action has been intense and we got up to like 18,000. I guess where are we at now? We're at like 16,200. I want to thank you all for being people that probably do your own research and actually look up stuff. Every time now Bitcoin reaches all-time highs, I start getting the texts and the calls from friends that I've gotten into Bitcoin over the last few months, and a lot of them want to call and talk on the phone for an hour, worry, ask a bunch of questions, act like just, I don't know, sad Sally's on the phone, and they don't want to actually put in the time to learn. Um, so, and I can't be giving them all each like an hour or two of my time on the phone every so often whenever they get emotional about the price. So I've definitely cut down on that, and I think you guys out there for actually putting in the time to learn. I guarantee you'll probably make a lot more money than the people that just meander around and don't really want to do anything. So, moving on, first thing I have to get off my chest is that Ethereum futures contract indeed went bye-bye. You can see here on the day chart, especially for people that don't know, I was on a good win streak between Bitcoin, Monero, and Ethereum, all on Bitmex doing derivatives. I think I got 4 million Satoshis. I got up to like 6.8 million Satoshis in a pretty quick fashion, and I was good with my stop losses, explaining what I was doing. Here I was making money on the way up, and here I ripped out a stop loss thinking that this would curve up, and I didn't want to lose a little bit of money. It went down, 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 somewhere around 4.3 million or so. I got a little nervous and thought it can't go much lower versus Bitcoin as Ethereum. And that was, I didn't think it was going to go to 18,000 or whatever. And no one I've listened to that's, I guess more viewed than me, I didn't hear them saying it would be this quick either, for the most part. Maybe Luke Martin is good. I think he called 14,000 pretty quick, but everyone else was like, I'm not really sure. This seems bullish, but I don't know. Anyways, I just didn't think Ethereum would be that undervalued, and I put in at 4.3 million. I put in a couple $100 to try to give my liquidation down to around 3,300 something, and I thought maybe there would be okay. And at that point, when I saw it going down, I saw the writing on the wall. I didn't put any more in to try to give it cushion, and I didn't think it was gonna go this low at all ever. I really didn't think that around there. So I'm glad I didn't put more money in. So I think I lost altogether 6 million Satoshis. Some of that when I first bought in, the first 400 or so, that was a while ago, like a month and a half, 2 months ago. So that could have been 150, 200 bucks, 200 something back then. I don't know. But as this lost, it was a good lesson. I have only done very conservative margins, and I've done it with stop losses, and you can see these gains on this other account where it's just these little ones I've done with stop losses just recently with Bitcoin, and this really isn't worth that much money, but I'm definitely choking down and being conservative and following my rules. And that was the one time I didn't do a stop loss. Like the 7 trades before and the 1 trade right after against Monero, where Monero also fell as Bitcoin turned into the 800-pound Donkey Kong monster. That one hit and saved me from losing a lot. So just this one, I got too cocky. You can see how you can lose on derivatives. That said, with Bitcoin up and my altcoins, this loss was covered by everything else. And this is a small portion of my portfolio, but I want you guys to learn from my mistake. You can go back in the episodes and say how dumb I was by pulling this stop loss back around here in the history, praying that it would come back, and it did not. Looking to other coins though, I've looked for 0x to pop. It really, again, the trading view for this one always sucks. Maybe you guys could comment and show me a better one, but I always have to go with the 4-hour. This I thought would consolidate here on pop. It never beat the Ichimoku cloud out of the red cloud. It just kept going down. It didn't get that momentum. Haven't touched it. Gonna wait for it to build a trend. Now that Bitcoin's really done this, and it's done it faster than I expected. I thought it may be at this price, early next summer at some point was my guesstimation. Now that it's done this, I'm much more Bitcoin focused. I'm a lot more harsh on other coins. I've made an Excel sheet with percentages, and I'm upping my Bitcoin amount. It was like 30% of my portfolio. Now it's like 50, and I'm gonna dollar cost average some more money into the market now, into Bitcoin specifically, to get my Bitcoin levels up. And I'm gonna be much more harsh in the way I judge other coins. And Ethereum, I know I just lost money on an Ethereum futures contract. At the same time, though, just thinking about it, Ethereum really hasn't, um, against Bitcoin at least, it has not really performed up to par with other things. As we can see, this is it's the 4 hour. Let's go. My computer's going nuts because I'm on Bitmex, so I'm gonna X that out. I just want to show you guys that I learned my lesson and I'm starting much smaller. I think I have 80,000 Satoshis in that account. I think that's the equivalent to like 130 or 40 bucks that I had sitting around. I'm not going to add to that. I'm going to try to double that conservatively using a stop loss every goddamn time. And so here's the theory. You can see that purple line is resistance from a long time ago. I didn't think it would get there. I thought it would bounce off that. It's very bearish that it just crashed right through that, even with Bitcoin going crazy. Because there are other coins that have come back, and I think part of that is that Cardano, ADA, I'm losing it because there's so many coins. I mean, IOTA is not really related to Ethereum, but just the fact that there's these other platforms that are gaining some steam. I know Cardano, it went up all the way here. I waited on a dip until I didn't think it was going to dip this far either. I bought in around 1,000 here, and I'm still happy about that. I read about everything about it. I think that it's a good price here for the longer term future to buy in after what I read and researched, and Data Dash had a good video on it. It's really shaping up to be a third generation platform. It really is trying to get a whole bunch of protocols together and be sustainable and have governance, and its wallet works really nicely. So I mean, there's Neo that can, so there's all these competitors to Ethereum, Neblio, Arc, other ones still coming up. I'm watching Arc closely. I don't know if it's gonna get lost in the noise with Neo and Cardano and Ethereum. So I'm not saying Ethereum is bad. I'm just less bullish than I was, let's say, 3 or 4 months ago about how dominant we'll be with all these other platforms coming up. And I really think platforms and protocols are where the money's at, because they're kind of the house that always gets paid with all these utility apps that are going to come out and supposedly change the world. So Arc has been kind of, yeah, it's just been also, it went through a long time ago, previous resistance, and just kind of sat down there. So I'm not as happy with Arc. I did buy into Stellar Lumens. I think I told you guys that. What was that? How many days ago was that? Maybe 3 or 4. So I probably bought in somewhere around this consolidation or somewhere around here. I'm not sure. But I think it has a good future with the way that it will allow institutions and people to trade any fiat currency into pegged to a lot of cryptocurrencies and go back and forth through Stellar, and it's really fast and inexpensive, and it's built specifically for that. And that's a really good way to transition between fiat and crypto in the future. So I read over a little bit. I'm not a master at what it does exactly, but I read over enough to get a general overview and feel comfortable enough to do a small buy. If it keeps performing well, I think I'd put it into a long-term hold. So the bigger long-term holds I have, Bitcoin would be like half. I like Neo, Ethereum, Cardano, IOTA, Monero. Those are like my holds. And maybe one day soon I'll put like a pie chart of percentages. Everything else is speculation. I like Vertcoin a lot. That may become a long-term hold if it keeps performing. A lot of people like Zcoin. I don't own any Zcoin yet. I'm looking at it. Um, I'm in OMG. Again, OMG really was like a golden child not that long ago. It was the first $1 billion unicorn Ethereum token, and you can see against Bitcoin, it's also kind of crapping out. But so are a lot of things. But I've seen consistently uh, OMG has had a lot of chances to pop up, but it hasn't. And I'm just looking for whatever. I'm either going to keep adding to Bitcoin or look at whatever can beat Bitcoin. So I'm getting a lot more strict compared to like the ICO bonanza. I wasn't in yet by June. I was in August, but pretty much, the spring of 2017 through the late summer before the China FUD. I, I'm not like that anymore where I want 25 coins. Like, I am looking very harshly, because if all this institutional money and all my friends are calling me about getting in, blah blah blah, all the money is going to flow through Bitcoin first, and Bitcoin really, I think, will stay as an 800-pound gorilla, at least for the short term. And who knows what the CME futures will do. I'm going to dollar cost a little, average in until then, but still save enough if there's a huge dip on shorting that I can buy in. If you don't know what the CME futures are, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, I believe, is one of the biggest derivatives future exchanges for institutional investors, where they can all bet dollars, shorting and longing Bitcoin. And a lot of these hedge funds and future types, they all want to short because they think this is way oversold, and a lot of them don't even understand what Bitcoin or the blockchain does yet. They just see this thing that's going up wildly, so they're going to try to bet in the opposite direction. We'll see if they have enough power to do that, or if they all go that way. Maybe other ones will know that and they're going to long as a hedge. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, and if they say they know, I think they're lying, because nothing like this has ever happened in the history of finance. So we'll see what happens with that. And then I'm watching again the Tether controversy. This rose. This is, you can see it's at 104. It was at 102 earlier. If we go to Tether on this thing, my computer's my computer's gonna launch like a fucking spaceship. It keeps making noise. Oh, Tether. Did I say UDST? Alright, let's go to the market cap. So one way you can look at this is you can go to the market cap. Well, let's go back to the cold wallet while this takes forever. You can see right here, this is kind of, it's not coming back up, even though we've had so much go up in terms of people buying Bitcoin and everything. I know there is just a finite amount of Bitcoin, and there's more exchanges, and it can get spread out over time. But you would still expect this. I'm just watching this kind of paranoid, as it's 104 on Poloniex or Kraken or one of those, and this is going down. So this means less people are holding Bitcoin on the exchange, because there's no, you can't see a clear reason yet. But if this really dips down, part of that's because people are losing faith in what Tether is worth. And then if you go over here, this is just saying that Tether is, it should be 1-to-1. It's pegged to the dollar. Tether to USD. Now it's 104-to-1, which means there's inflation going on, which there shouldn't. And let's see if we can see the market cap really quick. You can see the market cap just in the last, let's see, 7 days. Dun, 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 dun. The market cap over the last 7 days, you can see that it's gone from, oh, this is taking forever. Maybe I need a new computer. Okay, let's see. But you can see it's 790 million. Now it makes a jump. It's at 815. And I think it got to almost like 840 or something like that when I was looking at different. But you can see this just keeps climbing. And they've had issues getting loans from banks. So them just getting all this money out of nowhere all of a sudden, it's just so much money for them to get. So everyone's questioning, how can they get so much money if they don't have good relationships with the banks to be able to borrow that much? But maybe they do. But there's been a big controversy, and I'm just watching it closely. But let's see if this loads up. Otherwise, we may have to skip this for today. All right, here we go. So, I mean, IOTA, we can see definitely has made it in the top 5. They have this reclaim process going for old school IOTA owners, and I'm still in that reclaim process. So mine's just sat. I haven't been able to trade or do anything, but I still would hold it long term. I think trading it is it's a risky, dangerous thing. I think things will go way into the future. If you really believe in them, trading them a lot is, rather than just accumulating. And I still believe enough in IOTA to accumulate. Cardano's another one made it in the top 10. Monero, top privacy coin. Stellar Lumens, again. and Bitconnect, and I don't know, when Bitcoin is doing these crazy things like I do nice hash the altcoining, I stop that because Bitcoin is so volatile and goes up and down. Like it's hard to do arbitrage. Local Bitcoins, like selling Bitcoin on local Bitcoins for some arbitrage money. When it's skyrocketing, it can be hard to plan out the timing to buy back in when it's going up that high. So it's kind of halted a lot of things, and a lot of people are just kind of staring at Bitcoin. There are deals to be had, but a lot of people said like, oh, Ethereum would be a great deal, and I really thought it was too. I'm kind of in shock that Bitcoin went up this high, and Ethereum's gone that low compared to Bitcoin. Um, it's hard to. I mean, look at 300 billion versus 41. I mean, it's going up so much more. And of course that's just because Bitcoin is what everybody knows that's coming in to get it for the first time. But I think as time goes by, people will start buying the other ones at the same time. But it's all about Bitcoin right now. So I like things like HASHFLARE, and I like just accumulating more Bitcoin and trying to pick coins that are beating the Bitcoin value, which is hard to do right now, to be honest. Again, if we go over here and we look, I mean, there's some things that are coming back, but a lot of these things that came back were severely beaten down. I mean, up 4% for the last 24 hours, but I mean, still, all these got a major beatdown. We'll see how they recover, but I have a gut feeling like Bitcoin could have more run-ups and these could get more beatdowns compared to Bitcoin. So I'm all about Bitcoin right now, and that's why I'm going 50% Bitcoin, and I'm being very cautious in how I speculate, and I'm trying to accumulate in stuff that I think is gonna be around long term, like IOTA and hopefully Cardano and Neo and Ethereum. I'm just holding where I'm at with Ethereum. So and those little gains I got on Bitmex, those were just Bitcoin longs. I was just doing 2 times margin, and I was just doing with a close trailing stop where the maximum I could lose is like 5%. And I think to me that seems like where I've won the most money is going 2, 3 times margin, and then I do a really close trailing stop. And I'm sure when I get better and I have better instincts, yeah, I can give myself a bigger cushion, or I can really up the margin to 10, 20 with a close cushion if I really know what I'm doing. I think that I am getting better, especially like psychologically setting up my setup and like fooling with different indicators and kind of feeling out the volume more, and try, like when I look at a chart, I try to take this and all this in like all at once instead of quickly to kind of get a gut feeling. Yeah, I may dig into the little stuff that's going on in each of these, but the more you look at it and the more traders you follow on Twitter and the more times you're in and you see candle patterns happen, like it helps. Like I think over the last 12 trades I've done, 9 I've picked correctly in the direction and the stop loss didn't get hit and I had good momentum, and there's just that, and those other 2 in there, the stop loss was really minimal that I lost because it was close. The one time I pulled the stop loss, that screwed me. So I mean, margin trading is a dangerous game, but if you follow a system with discipline, you can make things happen with trading. You really can. Okay, so anyways, back to Chain.Group. I got out like I think 157 today or something like that. The withdrawal is taking forever today. I don't know if the Bitcoin system is acting up. Sometimes Chain.Group will take anywhere from an hour to like 5 or 6 hours. I'm sure that the Bitcoin system, I don't know, the mempool, all that, transactions may be boggled up with all the crap that's going on. So I'm not going to show me making the loan with that. I'll have to do that tomorrow morning or something like that. But I will go to Bitconnect and show. See, it would pop up here. It's not here yet. But I will do my reinvest. So anyways, once this money comes over, I'll be, what, $2,800 out of Chain.Group of the original 5,000 I put in. And I'm going to keep doing that till January 5th and try to keep growing this total daily payout to $400 a day is my goal. And hopefully these keep living. I think with all this Bitcoin influx, I really think they have a chance to live that long. I think they have too much money to make, and their schemes of paying out 1% or 2% a day at this rate that Bitcoin's going up right now, like the math works, because if Bitcoin keeps beating 1% a day and how fast it's going up, they can lend you a less amount of money. And for their normal shit, it's like when you start compounding like this and you get your ball rolling where you're getting, you put in so much and now you're getting 400 or 500 out a day and you do it with profit, that's when you start winning at this game. But it is risky, and I hope it works out. It's just keeps going. And savings account, HASHFLARE, some weird stuff happened today. This, I don't know if this is again because of all the crazy Bitcoin action. You can see it got up to an all-time high of paying out 20,000 satoshis in a day. Now it's dropped off to kind of a low for a while to 16,000, and that may be from mining difficulty. Everybody's trying to mine. And yeah, it was at like 68 million. Now it's dropped here. So I'm watching this closely as well. But as I've accrued more in here in my account, my terahash, I think when I first started was like 0.7, and now because of my reinvest, now I have, whatever that is, 50% more terahash than I started with, which is house money. So I'm still gonna watch it and keep it in here. I think if this keeps going for another, I don't know, maybe even just another month and kind of stays good, I think I'm gonna put part of my money in here and maybe part of my money in Genesis mining to mine Bitcoin, just a small amount as a way to diversify and hopefully earn more Bitcoin over the long term. As far as a personal rig, my friends are still putting one together that I put some money in on, and I think the graphic cards were too good. Like they're the latest, and the drivers don't work well yet with Windows and with the mining software. So hopefully that will take care of itself, and I can actually talk about hardware mining. And again, I haven't been doing NiceHash lately because Bitcoin's been all over the place, so it's hard to do arbitrage. And local Bitcoin selling again went skyrocketing. If you sell for money for arbitrage and it skyrockets past you, you can end up losing money, and it's better just to hold Bitcoin. So, like when Bitcoin does this crazy stuff, it's good mostly a lot of time just to hold Bitcoin and maybe long it on an exchange of your choice, and just be very conservative with your stop loss. That's all I can really recommend from my point of view. I haven't been keeping up with Twitter as much or anything else, but again, and another thing, as this keeps skyrocketing with more money and the money keeps going up and up, and now we're at 16,000, 17,000, whatever it is for the futures contract, remember your security. You don't want to make a lot of money in this and have it be hacked or lost somehow through something stupid. Like use Nord, use VPN, cover your tracks, use Brave, don't have your history. Yeah, Brave's free. I mean, the stuff's all in the links. Nord is, TREZOR, Ledger, hardware wallets, they're in the links. Keep it safe. Use TREZOR, use Ledger, use Brave, use Nord, use Proton Mail. Proton Mail is free. It is, based mostly in Switzerland is one of its base, but it's worldwide development, open source, encrypted email. Use that for your email. Be super safe. You don't want to lose, especially if you've invested early and you're an early mover, early adopter. You don't want to lose that later, and only put so much money, so much Bitcoin on each seed, each wallet. So if you lose one wallet, you don't lose everything. And codify your seed. So like move every first letter, move all the letters up two, or every third letter. Like do something to codify your seed so only you know how to uncode it. So if someone ever got your seed and they tried to use it, it wouldn't be right because it has all the letters or the words, but you code it the way you know how to uncode it. So there's all these things you got to think about. So subscribe, like, comment, share, clap, 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 clap. All right, as always, the rest, it's up to you.